Hello, my loves. So there's quite a bit that's swirling around. We're just going to see what comes forward. So whatever you see on the title will be what came through. Just diving in really quickly, there is this energy of landing and expanding and simultaneously rising. And it's been coming through in the energies like the divine feminine is landing and expanding in a new way, and the divine masculine is in process of rising. And this is coming in the internal union energies. So many of you may be feeling both of these things simultaneously, as well as seeing this reflected in the external collective energies. So there is a lot of new coming in and being embodied while we are simultaneously thawing, dissolving, and resolving out old energies. A specific thing that's been coming in connected to this stream that we've been working on in the internal masculine energies is this deeper seed of self doubt. And what's been unfolding, unraveling, and presenting itself is these seeds of doubt that were planted early in life, where we as children or teens intuitively knew what felt good and aligned, but the world around us started to suppress us and mold us into ways and shapes that society or ancestral lines or families felt was the right thing to do. And I'm seeing this specifically coming up in multiple areas. So this could be from dating outside of your race, dating outside of your religion, dating outside of the opposing gender norms at that time. Um, Wanting to follow a certain pathway or passion that might not be seen as stable or able to make money. So, an example could be if you wanted to go into art and you were then guided to take a traditional route, like be a doctor or something of that nature. You see what I mean? It's like all of these different places and spaces where your natural inclination, your natural nature, your natural heart centered energy just was open and creative and fluid and um, tempered, right? Many of us, if not all of us, I think are born at a soul level without biases or things of that nature. Those are things that are more taught or squished, right? So you have this energy of authority and this energy of power over you, your decisions, your choices, your likes, your dislikes, these things that are shaping the river of your life, so to speak, that may actually be taking you or did quote unquote take you off course comparatively to what your natural soul essence wanted to do and how you naturally wanted to flow, which is part of why so many of you found yourself going through a dark night of the soul and being awakened into an area or into a way that actually was helping you align more to your true, authentic self of who you always were, who you were born to be. And so there's a deep energy of allowing this energy of self doubt that was seeded, especially in childhood, teen years, early adulthood. This feels important because it feels so shaped by expectations. It could be, again, like I said, around those expectations around money, getting a job, going to school, who you get into a relationship with, how you practice or you connect spiritually, or what you do traditionally, like all of these outer expectations and projections that came into your system that were put onto your shoulders and mm, built up like a burden because they may not be anywhere even close to what your soul intended. And so it creates more of that cognitive dissonance. And what I was shown, this is where many teens and early adults start to rebel, right? And the rebellion might be that they just completely go a different way and then the family kind of ostracizes them, or they may do what they're told and then rebel by using drugs or drinking or suppressing that part of themselves. And I know these are all in ways topics we've been working on, and I know there's that general seed of doubt, but it's never come through quite like this in the sense of how societal norms and expectations created these deep seeds of doubt. So even as adults, we are holding ourselves and providing for ourselves and learning to deeply reparent ourselves. And with this expansion process, as we're leveling up into the next container, as we're deepening those states of internal union, and we've been deepening into the masculine side energies, this is clicking in because regardless, it was our internal masculine energies that started to close down when we were told by external forces, adults, authorities, society, that what we felt was wrong, what we wanted was bad, what we felt, what we were drawn to, what we wanted to experience wasn't good enough. And it immediately set up this need to hide, to withdraw, to choose, really to choose who or how you were going to be to fit in with all of these boxes that everyone else was projecting onto you, whether it was their fears or what they thought was the right thing, or they were coming from their heart and trying to genuinely help you. Whatever the intention was or is, ultimately, it was suppressing your truth. It was suppressing your natural nature. And you were receiving external influence that was guiding you away from your truth. And so this seems to be the next levels or layers connecting to unraveling and resolving betrayal. And again, this is simultaneously happening as we are expanding into our next levels and layers. And the reasons that the new is opening while we are simultaneously clearing so much density and transmuting so much heaviness is because we've been working in those pockets. We've been working on these topics. And as a collective, we have reached a strong and stable enough space where we're actually unraveling the bigger limitations. And it's able to unravel because we are holding and embodying into our energies authentically enough. We're stable enough and present enough within ourselves that those bigger patterns can release. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm being shown. It's what is happening in my one on one sessions. It's what I'm seeing and sensing within this latest series of recorded sessions that are unfolding. And the way I'm guided to share those really has been this dance of like opening the new container, cleaning up some of the old, or cleaning up some of the old, and then the more of the new container is opening and expanding, just really depending on where we are in the topics, right? Because we're shifting out the old information so we can actually stretch out, right? And land in a new way. And a lot of this is moving so quickly because it is a lot of the topics that we have already worked on. So it's like we're getting to those deeper roots, and this feels exceedingly collective, like the sum of all of our efforts are coming into a bigger pot of results. So each one of us that have been working in our own lane, now it's coming together and it's starting to build a momentum to allow a lot more of the old container to leave. And it's interesting because some of this old container I'm speaking about may only be a couple months or a couple years old. And you may say, hey, like I landed and expanded and I felt like I was, on my good trajectory. And now this whole new shift is coming in. Yes, my loves. And that is what growth is going to continue to look like. I've been guided to train myself to upgrade the container whenever is needed. And that doesn't mean what you were doing was wrong. It means you are ready to grow, right? If you have a plant and it's outgrown its pot, are you going to make it stay in the pot that is squishing it if it grew too quickly? Or are you just going to be like, okay, I'm going to get you a new pot. Let's go. Right? You see what I mean? It's important that we allow our systems to continue to grow, to continue to expand, to continue to land, and to continue to rise. This cycle that we're feeling both internally and externally is the evolution process. And part of why these huge levels of growth and upgrade are occurring the way and the level that they are is because we have released a lot more attachment to things needing to stay a certain way to feel stable. Because now you're sourcing your stability from within you versus stability on a specific rigid timeline. And this capacity is exactly what is leading you and dancing you to your highest timeline. So, what was your highest timeline yesterday may not be your highest timeline today. This can be done very gently. This does not have to be big, huge tower moments like we've had in the past. We had those levels of tower moments in collapse in Dark Night of the Soul because we were attempting to hold on so tightly and rigidly to what was. But now we've grown. Now we feel more stable and centered in ourselves, on our planet, in our own direct connection and stream to source. And if you're not feeling that, my loves, is what I would encourage you to focus on. Because being in charge and stable within your own sovereign stream is what allows you to move stability and flow, right? You feel stability. So even as things are changing, it's easy for you to center back into yourself. This is what allows change to occur rapidly and successively in a successful way because you're not anchored and rigid in the old ways anymore. And so that is why we're expanding into a new container, and then simultaneously so much old information, memories, thoughts, feelings are coming up, whether they're yours from this life, ancestral patterns, past life information, collective, cosmic, containers that are in process of resolving out. There is a lot occurring right now. The best thing you can do is understand that you have the capacity to stabilize back to yourself, find your center point, allow the new to come in, and allow the old to exit. Okay. This is actually a very balanced, tempered energy anyway. If we're letting old things go, you need more new energy coming in to fill in what was holding space there. And if you're bringing in the new or letting the new rise from inside out, like I said, that's sort of pushing the old energies out to be resolved that way. Okay. And one of the things that is coming through is that many of the feminines who have been working so deeply on the internal union are really coming into a more deeper inner state of balanced inner masculine or feminine and are on this embodying process, which is allowing a restructuring of the external relationships to the masculine and to other feminines. And it's allowing that old need for a masculine energy to mirror and reflect in a way that was filling up a hole within you because now you're embodying into your own energy and you can enjoy the reflection and you can enjoy the connection to the masculine without a need to pull because you're filling yourself. So it allows that energy of want and reciprocity and true partnership to land as you're each available in your own sovereign energy to come to the table in your full true essence, much closer to your full embodiment, right? I say this because you can be in your full embodiment today and still grow tomorrow and embody even more. In a year from now, we could have this conversation and it would still hold a different meaning. We could come back and watch this video a year from now and it could still make sense, would hold a whole different context because of how much you're going to grow over this next year. And this is the point of this conversation is that life is growth. Life is change. We see it in the world all around us. The cycles, the seasons, the death to the rebirth. This is life. Okay, my loves, this is living. It was something, unfortunately, that was suppressed within us, but it is something that is blossoming now. And so when I see that energy of the feminine coming in, more deeply landing and embodying into the earth, into the body, and then expanding up and out, allowing the masculine energy to come up and rise up from the earth and rising and also expanding. Again, like I'm saying, I'm seeing in these visions in the internal energies, but it's also being reflected in the external. So I just wanted to come on and share a bit of the bigger collective energies that are rolling around. I would love to hear from you. Is this making sense to you? Let me know if there's any specific topics that you may want some support with, because we are in a massive transition. Like I said, this is like a whole big expansion energy, and we're all recalibrating into the new while also dissolving and resolving those bigger overarching patterns that have kept us suppressed. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put all my information in the pinned comments. And again, as always, I would love to hear from you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care, my loves.